Ladies and gentlemen, this is the big story that is coming to us this evening. A mother is in mourning, a wife allegedly on the board, and a 31,000 crore empire stands divided. Sunjay Kapur, businessman, tycoon, also actor Karishma Kapoor's former husband and the son of industrialist Surinder Kapur. He died on 12th of June 2025 in the UK in an alleged bee sting during a polo match which led to his heart attack. The business and the socialite circle mourned his tragic death, but a month later his mother, Rani Kapur, is saying she isn't convinced. She's calling her son's death sudden and suspicious and claims she still hasn't gotten any answers with regards to the circumstances surrounding her son's death. Rani Kapur is alluding that while she was in mourning, the board moved on. Sanjay's mother is claiming she was forced to sign documents behind closed doors without understanding what they contained. In an emotional and sensational letter to the shareholders and board members of sonacomstar, she not only sought deferment of the AGM by 2 weeks, but has also made a series of very damaging claims. Let me go straight across to Vaibhav Gaggar, who is joining us on the broadcast. Vaibhav, you and I spoke a couple of hours ago. Till then, we didn't have a statement from sonacomstar. Now we have a statement from sonacomstar, so that is what I'm going to start with. sonacomstar is saying a couple of things. They are saying that number one, your client Rani Kapur, who claimed to be a majority stakeholder, actually hasn't had any stakes in the company since 2019. So what is she talking about?
So, very strange statement, actually, because, and it'll be interesting, maybe they want to go back to their own statutory books. Let me leave it at that. There are a couple of statements in that press release which were quite unfortunate, actually. And legally speaking, there are answers to all of that. But what struck me most over here, even more than the legalities of things, is how they were able to just absolutely sidestep, not care about the grieving mother, who, unless, they believe that she really has no role to play at all and should not be given any credence to, has highlighted some very, very hard facts over there in the letter. And they have just ignored that. No compassion. Maybe legally correct, maybe not. But that's not for me to comment over here. But clearly, from a corporate governance perspective, something that they could have very much looked into and ought to have looked into, not just brush it aside, but they decide to go ahead with it. So the 80-year-old lady left by herself, fend for herself, and she sought cooperation, access to details, access to information, all denied.
No, so what is your client? What is your client essentially trying to say? Is she trying to say that she has been cut off all the wealth by her daughter-in-law post her son's death? That she has access to no funds? Is that the charge that is being made, Vaibhav?
Currently, as stated by her in the letter, she has access to no funds. Very clearly, that's what she stated. A lady who was bestowed with everything. Dr. Kapoor gave everything to her, entrusted everything to her. That's the legacy of Dr. Kapoor's. It's the Kapoor family, Khandan's legacy. Given to her, entrusted to her for the sake of the entire family. And today, not just she, her bigger worry is, and at 80 years old, really, I don't think it's about herself anymore. Her bigger worry is that the rest of the family, the daughters, the grandchildren, nobody has any access to anything anymore. She's being told that she has nothing to do with the company. What else can be said about it?
So what does she do next? Will she go to court? Because last when we spoke, you said you will wait to hear from the board and you will wait to see what the board does. But it seems the board has done what it wanted to, which is appoint Priya Sachdev as a non-executive director. And she has 28% stakes there.
It's going to be a very tough call for Mrs. Kapoor to take in the you know, at 80, do you wish to get into court on one hand and take up a legal battle? And on the other hand, what's staring in the face, most importantly, is she's convinced that there is something suspicious as far as the death is concerned. She still doesn't have access to the reasons for the death. You mentioned at the start something about hearing about a bee being the cause of death. She's not seen any evidence of that. There's no post-mortem report that's been provided to her. And at that age, grieving as she is, she's got to make a choice. Does she want to battle this out? Or what does she do? It's a horrible place to be for a senior citizen, for a lady of that age.
But the person she will need to battle if she decides to go ahead is the daughter-in-law. I want to ask you how relationships soured to a point barely a month after Sunjay Kapur's death, where, where an 80-year-old is accusing her daughter-in-law behind closed doors of making her sign documents that she doesn't understand and cutting her off from her wealth.
Again, to be fair, Mrs. Kapoor went to great lengths to not name anybody. And therefore, I would not be in a position to name anybody either. People can make their judgments on it. She has not, however, named anyone. Having said that, if the fact of the matter is that today, as per the company, the entire Kapoor family, everything that the Kapoor family had built is not with them at all anymore, whatever be the sum and the quantum, then it's shocking, isn't it, to say the very least. But she's got to decide what she's got to do about it. Does she want to fight at this age? She was trying to avoid a fight all along. I don't know.
Well, the family feud is out in the open. At stake is the 31,000 crore rupee empire. My last question to you, and if you could very quickly answer this, is Mrs. Kapoor convinced that her son's death was not an accident or a heart attack, that it was murder? Because she seems to be alluding to that.
She's not alluding to murder necessarily. She's not used that term. She is saying very clearly, however, that whatever has happened pre the death, post the death, there's something very suspicious. There are murky waters there. It needs to be investigated. She's saying investigate this. Don't brush it aside as just some accident. Someone had a heart attack riding a horse, bee goes into the system, and there's no post-mortem which has been provided to her, no evidence, no medical, nothing. And now she doesn't have access to bank accounts, entire family legacy gone. Someone needs to look into it, is what she's saying. And she's saying, cooperate with me, please. Somebody cooperate with me.
Okay.
That's what she's saying.
And no FIR has been filed, right?
She's not gone criminal at all. She's not even gone civil. She's not filed a case.
Okay. Vaibhav, we'll leave it there for the moment. Let's see how this plays out. This is one of Delhi's, in fact, India's richest families that we are talking about. A family feud now out in the open over a 31,000 crore rupee auto empire. We'll see how this plays out. Thank you, Vaibhav, for joining us.